Welcome back to my YouTube channel Coins History Coins VC. In today's video, we will explore 4 interesting United States quarter-dollar coins from different years. These coins are small pieces of history that show the portrait of George Washington and represent the rich heritage of American coinage. Each coin carries the word liberty, the value 25 cents, and unique mint marks that tell us where the coin was produced. In this video, we will look closely at the 1980p, 1984D, 1986D, and 1988D Washington quarter coins, discussing their designs, history, metal composition, mint marks, and collector value. If you enjoy learning about rare and historical coins from around the world, this video will help you understand why these Washington quarters are still important for collectors and coin lovers today. So stay with the video and discover the history behind these 4 amazing quarter-dollar coins. Top 1. The 1980p mint mark quarter is a classic American coin that belongs to the long-running quarter series. This coin was minted in the United States and features the portrait of the first U.S. president. George the Washington quarter design was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George's birth, replacing the earlier standing Liberty quarter design. By the year 1980, the coin had already been circulating for many decades and had become one of the most recognizable coins in American currency. The 1980 quarter carries a face value of 25 cents, which equals 1/4 of a US dollar. On the obverse, front, side of the coin, you will see the left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. Around the portrait appears the word Liberty at the top, the national motto, "In God We Trust," to the left, and the date 1980 at the bottom. The P mint mark visible on the coin indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most important mint facilities in the country. Before 1980, Philadelphia coins usually did not carry a mint mark, but starting in that year the P mint mark began appearing on quarters to identify their place of production. On the reverse back side of the coin you will find the powerful heraldic eagle design. The eagle, which is the national symbol of the United States, is shown with its wings spread wide while holding arrows in its talons, representing strength and readiness to defend the nation. Beneath the eagle are 2 olive branches symbolizing peace. Around the design appear the inscriptions United States of America and quarter dollar. Above the eagle is the national motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, which reflects the unity of the American states. The coin's composition in 1980 is a copper-nickel clad structure, meaning it has outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This composition has been used for U.S. quarters since 1965, when rising silver prices caused the government to remove silver from circulating coins. The coin weighs approximately 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters with a reeded, grooved edge. Millions of these coins were produced for everyday circulation, making them very common in pocket change during that era. In terms of mintage, the 1980p Washington quarter had a very large production run of hundreds of millions of coins, meaning it is not rare in circulated condition. However, collectors still value well-preserved examples, especially those in uncirculated or mint state condition. Coin collectors, also known as numismatists, often search for coins with strong details, bright luster, and minimal scratches. High-grade examples certified by professional grading companies can have a higher collector value than ordinary circulated coins. For most circulated coins, the value is usually close to the face value of 25 cents, but uncirculated examples may be worth a few dollars depending on their grade and condition. The Washington quarter series continued with the same design until 1998, after which the United States introduced the famous 50-state quarters program in 1999, featuring different state designs on the reverse. Even though newer designs appeared later, the classic Washington Eagle reverse remains an important part of American coin history. Overall, the 1980p quarter dollar represents a piece of everyday American history. It reflects the nation's respect for George Washington, the symbolism of liberty and unity, and the practical design used for daily commerce in the United States during the late 20th century. For collectors and history enthusiasts, coins like the 1980p Washington quarter are more than just money. They are small historical artifacts that connect people to the political, cultural, and economic story of the United States. Many collectors enjoy studying the details, mint marks, and variations of these coins, preserving them in albums or collections as reminders of the rich heritage of American coinage. Next, top 2. The 1984 D. Washington Quarter is an important coin from the long-running Washington Quarter series of the United States. This coin carries a face value of 25 cents, which equals 1/4 of a US dollar, and it was produced for everyday circulation during the year 1984. The Washington Quarter design was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, who served as the first president of the United States and played a major role in the country's independence. The design replaced the earlier standing Liberty Quarter and quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in American currency. By 1984, this design had already been used for more than 50 years, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in the history of the United States Mint. The coin shows the word liberty on the front, representing the core value of freedom in American democracy. On the obverse front of the coin, you can see the left-facing portrait of George Washington. This portrait was designed by the American sculptor John Flanagan, whose work was selected by the U.S. government during a design competition held in the early 1930s. Above the portrait appears the word liberty, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," appears on the left side of Washington's neck. At the bottom of the coin, you will see the year 1984, indicating when the coin was minted. To the right of the date appears the D Mint mark, which means the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint is one of the major production facilities of the United States Mint and has produced billions of coins for circulation. The D Mint mark helps collectors identify where the coin was made, which is an important detail in numismatics, the study and collection of coins. The reverse back of the 1984 D. Washington Quarter features a strong and symbolic design of a bald eagle with its wings spread wide. The bald eagle is the national bird and symbol of strength and freedom in the United States. In the design, the eagle is perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing the nation's readiness to defend itself, while olive branches below represent peace. Above the eagle appears the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, which means out of many one, representing the unity of the states that form the United States of America. Around the edge of the coin are the inscriptions United States of America and quarter dollar. The combination of these elements reflects the political ideals, strength, and unity of the American nation. This eagle reverse design remained in use for Washington quarters from 1932 until 1998, when new commemorative designs were later introduced. The composition and specifications of the 1984 D quarter follow the standard used for U.S. quarters since 1965. The coin is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, meaning the outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core made of pure copper. This change from silver to copper-nickel occurred because of rising silver prices during the 1960s. The coin weighs approximately 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and features a reeded edge with small vertical grooves around the rim. These grooves were originally used to prevent people from shaving small amounts of precious metal from coins when they were made of silver. Even though modern quarters no longer contain silver, the reeded edge remains as a traditional design feature. In terms of production, the 1984 D. Washington Quarter had a very large mintage, with hundreds of millions of coins produced at the Denver Mint for everyday use in commerce. Because of this high production number, the coin is generally not rare in circulated condition and is commonly found in pocket change or coin collections. However, collectors often look for coins in uncirculated or mint state condition, where the original luster is still visible and the details of the design remain sharp. High-grade examples graded by professional coin grading services may have a higher collector value than ordinary circulated coins. Some collectors also search for special varieties, mint errors, or coins with exceptional quality, which can sometimes increase the value. For coin collectors and history enthusiasts, the 1984 D. Washington Quarter is more than just a piece of everyday currency. It represents a connection to American history, honoring George Washington and the values of liberty and unity that the nation was built upon. Even though millions of these coins were produced, each one carries the artistic design and symbolic meaning created by the United States Mint. Today, the Washington Quarter series remains one of the most popular and widely collected coin series in the United States, and coins like the 1984 D quarter continue to be appreciated by collectors, historians, and people interested in the story of American money. Next, top 3. The 1986 D Washington quarter is a well-known coin from the long-running Washington quarter series produced in the United States. This coin has a face value of 25 cents, equal to 1/4 of a US dollar, and it was minted for regular circulation in 1986. The Washington quarter design originally began in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the first president and a key leader in the American Revolution. The coin replaced the earlier standing Liberty quarter and quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in American history. By the mid-1980s, the Washington quarter had already been circulating for more than 5 decades and had become a standard part of daily American commerce. The word liberty appears prominently on the front of the coin, symbolizing the ideals of freedom and independence that are central to the history and identity of the United States. On the obverse front of the coin is the famous portrait of George Washington facing left. This design was created by the American sculptor John Flanagan, whose work was selected by the U.S. government in a design competition for the Washington commemorative coin. Above the portrait appears the inscription Liberty, while the national motto, In God We Trust, is placed to the left of Washington's neck. At the bottom of the coin you will find the date 1986, showing the year of issue. Next to the date is the D Mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint is one of the main coin-producing facilities of the United States mint system and has produced billions of coins since it began operations in the early 20th century. The mint mark is an important feature for collectors because it identifies the location where the coin was manufactured. The reverse back of the 1986 D Washington quarter features the traditional heraldic eagle design used on Washington quarters for many decades. The bald eagle, which is the national bird and a powerful symbol of freedom and strength in America, is shown with its wings spread wide. In the design, the eagle is perched on a bundle of arrows, representing military readiness and the strength of the nation, while olive branches appear below to symbolize peace. Above the eagle is the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, reflecting the unity of the states that make up the United States. Surrounding the design are the inscriptions United States of America at the top and $quarter at the bottom. This classic reverse design remained in use from 1932 until 1998, when the United States later introduced new state-themed designs for the quarter series. The metal composition and technical specifications of the 1986 D quarter follow the standard used for modern U.S. quarters since the mid-1960s. The coin is made of copper-nickel clad metal, consisting of outer layers that are 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This change from silver to copper-nickel occurred in 1965, when rising silver prices made silver coins too expensive for everyday circulation. The 1986 D Washington quarter weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge with small vertical grooves around the rim. These grooves were originally introduced to prevent people from shaving small amounts of precious metal from silver coins, and the feature has remained on modern coins, even though they are no longer made from silver. In terms of mintage, the 1986 D Washington quarter was produced in very large numbers for daily use across the United States. The Denver Mint struck more than 500 million coins of this type, making it a common coin in circulation during the late 1980s and early 1990s. Because of this high mintage, the coin is usually not rare and is often found in ordinary pocket change or coin collections. However, collectors still search for examples in uncirculated or mint state condition, where the coin retains its original shine, strong details, and minimal wear. Coins that are graded in very high condition by professional grading companies can sometimes be worth several dollars or more to collectors, especially if they show exceptional quality or unique mint errors. Overall, the 1986 D Washington quarter represents a small but meaningful piece of American monetary history. It honors the legacy of George Washington, reflects the ideals of liberty and national unity, and demonstrates the practical coinage system used by the United States during the late 20th century. Even though it was produced in large numbers and used widely in everyday transactions, the coin remains important to collectors and historians who appreciate the design, symbolism, and history behind American coins. Today, the Washington Quarter Series continues to be one of the most collected coin series in the world, and coins like the 1986 D Quarter help preserve the story of American culture, economy, and national identity through Numismatics' next top 4. The 1988 D Washington Quarter is a part of the famous Washington Quarter Series issued by the United States Mint for everyday circulation. This coin has a face value of 25 cents, which represents 1/4 of a US dollar, and it was minted in the year 1988. The Washington Quarter design first appeared in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the first president and one of the most important leaders in American history. Since its introduction, the Washington Quarter has become one of the most widely used and recognizable coins in the United States. By the late 1980s, this design had already been circulating for more than 50 years and remained a strong symbol of American heritage and national pride. The word liberty is clearly written across the top of the coin's front side, representing the central value of freedom that has played a major role in the development of the United States. On the obverse front side of the 1988 D Quarter is the well-known portrait of George Washington facing toward the left. This design was created by the American sculptor John Flanagan, whose artwork was selected in the early 1930s to represent Washington on the nation's $1/4 coin. Above the portrait you will see the word liberty, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," appears to the left of Washington's neck. At the bottom of the coin is the year 1988, showing when the coin was produced. Just beside the date appears the D Mint mark, which indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint is one of the major coin-producing facilities of the United States Mint and has produced billions of coins for circulation since it began operations in the early 20th century. The presence of the Mint mark helps collectors identify where the coin was manufactured, which is an important detail in the study of coins known as numismatics. The reverse back side of the 1988 D Washington Quarter features a powerful heraldic design centered on the bald eagle, which is the national bird and a symbol of freedom and strength in the United States. In this design, the eagle spreads its wings widely while perched on a bundle of arrows, representing the nation's readiness to defend itself and its ideals. Beneath the arrows are olive branches, symbolizing peace and the desire for harmony among nations. Above the eagle appears the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, which reflects the unity of the many states that together form the United States of America. Surrounding the design are the inscriptions United States of America at the top and $1/4 at the bottom. This classic eagle reverse design was used on Washington quarters from 1932 until 1998, when the U.S. Mint later introduced new state-themed quarter designs as part of a national commemorative coin program. The metal composition and physical specifications of the 1988 D Quarter follow the modern standard used for U.S. quarters since 1965. The coin is made of copper-nickel-clad metal, meaning the outer layers consist of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core made of pure copper. This composition replaced the earlier silver coins because rising silver prices made silver too expensive for everyday circulation. The 1988 D Washington Quarter weighs approximately 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and features a reeded edge, which is the series of small vertical grooves around the rim of the coin. Originally, these grooves were designed to prevent people from shaving precious metal from coins when they were made of silver, but they remain an important visual feature even on modern clad coins. In terms of mintage and collector interest, the 1988 D Washington Quarter was produced in very large numbers at the Denver Mint for regular circulation throughout the United States. Hundreds of millions of coins were struck during that year, meaning the coin is generally common and often found in everyday pocket change. Because of its high production numbers, most circulated examples are usually worth close to their face value of 25 cents. However, collectors often search for coins in uncirculated or mint state condition, where the original mint luster is still bright and the details of the design remain sharp and clear. Coins that are graded at very high levels by professional grading companies can sometimes be worth several dollars or more. Some collectors also look for special mint errors, strong strike details, or exceptionally preserved pieces, which can make certain examples more desirable. Overall, the 1988 D. Washington quarter is an important representation of late 20th century American coinage. It reflects the artistic design honoring George Washington, the patriotic symbolism of the bald eagle, and the practical copper-nickel composition used in modern circulating coins. Even though millions were produced and used in everyday transactions, the coin remains a meaningful collectible for many numismatists and history enthusiasts. As part of the long Washington Quarter series, the 1988 D quarter helps tell the story of American currency, national identity, and the continued respect for the leadership and legacy of George Washington in the history of the United States.